archer type units, right? We've got the Magyars known for, of course, all of the awesome bonuses. Don't they get multiple cavalry archer bonuses? As well as... Hello. Come on now. Come on now, capture age.
Hey Phil _ with _ and _ F. Thanks for following.
Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Thank you for turning me into a crab. I don't know why capture age isn't being captured. No idea what's going on there. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Everything's pooping itself today. Capture age. Holy moly. You guys can't even see what's happening. Everything that could go... Oh, you know why? Because capture age updated. That's why. So I have to probably re-tie it in on OBS. Problem understood and diagnosed. Now I just have to enact that problem-solving procedure. I have to find one scene amongst like 100. I don't know where it is and I can't find it. We have to calm down and just steadily look through all of my scenes until I see one that starts with the letter C and check and see if it's the one that says capture age. All I gotta do, controller rank, capture age, capture. One. Got it. Problem solved. Phil with an F. Have you ever seen a king this big before? Did you say freaking Andy's already cooking? Alright, I think we should be good to go on the old... I feel like some things are slightly moved from this update. Well, that's how we're going for the rest of the day. Alright, I'm now full focus. Do we want to leave orange and red is pretty bad for contrast. We can go teal and orange, maybe? I'm going to close that. Find anything else I can close to make my PC calm down a bit. It's already struggling a little bit. So you might be thinking, oh no, freaking Andy is going to get eaten by El Matador's scout. Which, to be fair, is a legitimate concern at this point, given that both players are already clicked up to fuel age. However, the king is actually faster than the scout cavalry in Dark Age. As soon as Dark Age ends, fuel age starts, the scout gets a small speed bonus, and then it's actually faster than the king, and that'd be quite a risk. Little quick wall there from Andy. Not cooking, cooked. Oh yeah, that's right. Nature, the old Matador supporter. Is teal and orange okay, guys? I feel like it's on brand for them. A Matador should be red, but I can't have red and orange. Just go red and blue. I'm overthinking it. Does that count as a forward range on Acropolis? It's like sort of forwards. It's literally in the middle. I don't know about forwards. Koreans, their primary sniping unit would be likely the nice block with the spear there from Andy. He got the scout there as well, being chiefly supremely irritating. And as his own villager coming forwards to drop a tower on this wood line. Korean strat here would be war wagons for sniping. You can dive under TCs and castles and get to where the king will be stationed, because in this mode you can't garrison, of course. So typical play is to build like a kind of a pen or box for your king, put the king in the middle, and then put like castles or towers or town centers near it. But if you have units with lots of pierce armor, like war wagons for the Koreans, or that are fast and easy to mass and have range, like Magyar's cav archers, then you have really good sniping units. Good morning. What's the starting Vil number? Some maps have 3, some maps have 9. I didn't see which one this was. We can take a quick peek. Hold on. This was a 9 Vil start. So the reason for that is over the past like year, what I was doing was whatever the popular tournament was running, I was running viewer show matches featuring that tournament, but with a non-garrisonable king. So I'd have like a king snipe version of each tournament that I would run. Freaking Andy's king. Where is the king? That was much earlier. Okay, that was much earlier. So that's why some of the maps are 9 Vils, because it was back when NAC ran. I was using the NAC maps to do the king sniping with, right? And they all had 9 Vil starts. So some are 9 Vil, some are 3 Vil. It makes a difference. It makes actually a big difference. But I needed to do the show match, and I didn't have time to get the map scripting done. If you want to help with that, please contact me. I will pay you money. I will pay you decent money to help me out with that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to learn how to do map scripting. Just like El Matador is going to have to learn how to defend against freaking Andy's towers in the next couple of minutes, or he's going to be in trouble. There's not a ton of wood access. Actually, we did get an okay Acropolis spawn for extra wood. Like, that's 1,000 wood. Each one of these is like 1,000-ish wood. 900, 900, 600. Like, they're decent piles of wood. You can just move there. You will have to have more frequent refreshes. El Matador is being forced to come out with the Vils to fight off the skirms. Could we see a skirm king snipe in Feudal Age? Freaking Andy's POV here. Magyars will have a good option in Castle Age if they manage to get with it to deal with the... Actually, there's a good option in Feudal Age as well. If El Matador could get a stable down, even like 2-3 scouts could probably clean most of that up. Freaking Andy only with 1 spear at the moment, and we can use our own skirms to snipe the spears. It might be a question of who gets a stable down first. Korean's less likely. The only reason Koreans really need a stable is to get husbandry for their war wagons. Generally, you're not going to go light cav or knights. I guess you could kind of go knights. They have +2, but they don't have bloodlines. There might be situations where you just like spam some knights out as the Koreans. That's not inconceivable. Especially if you have husbandry, actually, it makes them a bit better. Especially for raiding. Again. You guys excited for the tournament? There's already a hanging tension. You gotta think, like, what if one of the players makes 4 or 5 scouts right now and then dives to TC? Andy has gone with a kind of gutsy strategy. Just sending the villager way up north. You know, if you send, like, 1 scout could end the game here. At the same time, you know, the more and more of the tournament that we get to see, we'll see the meta develop. And I think we'll see less and less of this. I think you do this and you send the villagers with a lumber camp and something and then like wall off the corner might make sense. One thing I may add before the tournament, and I might do this on every single map, is there'll be unwallable tiles around the entire outside of the map. So you can't go and hide in a corner. This could be the better decision. The issue is if, again, like Andy comes in with like, I don't even know. Imagine he came in with like 30 skirms and just shot the king. King doesn't get any armor, 75 HP. You cannot convert it. You also, because you can't garrison the king, you can't heal it until you're in Castle Age. You build a monastery and then task a monk to heal the king. Monks will not auto-heal kings. And another thing you have to be really wary of course, which I'm sure we'll see come up. I don't know if we'll see it today, but we will see this happen over the next month, is if you attack a building near a king, the king will auto-aggress. It's kind of like a military unit. So if you attack, like say the king's standing here and you attack that house, sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, the king will aggress onto the units that attack the building. I don't think it aggressors you if you attack the king. for some reason. And I'm not sure that, I don't know, and I think it's less likely to kick in that aggressive behavior if you attack a military unit, but also is still possible. Andy has dove way into El Matador's base here, trying to get some value out of his massive skirmisher army. El Matador has split his skirms army. Ooh, we do have some scouts come out. And I wonder if the reason that Andy pulled that king back was because he saw the stable. Where is that stable? I wonder if that's the reason he pulled the king back from the corner, was he spotted that stable. Now, freaking Andy is the reigning champion. He has quite a good bit of experience with settings similar to these, as he participated in Ring of Fire 5 and won Ring of Fire 5, which was a free-for-all tournament with the same settings, but with 3 people, basically. You also aren't aware, there is no Wonder or Relic victory. So it's just regular old conquest, but you can kill the king to end the game. And my personal feelings is there's potential for this to be like a... I think it should be a regular feature on the ladder. I think it gives a definitive end to games. You know? Like, now there's a defined win condition. Protect your king. If he dies, you lose. Like, then it's like, well, my opponent's not dead. I haven't killed his king. So that's why they're still in the game, is they think they can somehow come back. So, like, it may stretch some games out, but then, on the other hand, it's within your own means of ending a game. That's what I think. And then you just adjust the ladder to have open maps and make them really, really difficult to close in kings, kind of like we have here with the unbuildable tiles on Acropolis. Freaking Andy is going to be able to harass these Goldvilles, but he's going to go back. Maybe worried that El Matador is about to hit Castle Age at the same time as him. And El Matador even coming in here in the middle and hitting some of Andy's forward villagers, but as he hits Castle Age, Andy will get that upgrade to his towers, and that'll help defend this area a little bit better. El Matador's options for, like, serious wood collection, like, is going to be off to the northeast. Left, there isn't that much. There's one patch, and it's right outside Andy's front door, so I don't know if that's going to work out. Ooh, quick walls from Andy to save the scouts getting in on the wood line there. Phil's coming out to do something. PC drop over here on this gold. And a defensive castle going down from freaking Andy, potentially for some sniping units. Get some of those war wagons on the field. Still no sign of any extra archery ranges for the Magyar player. Not sure what El Matador is up to. Spreading all over the map. We haven't seen a corner check from El Matador up here yet. So he's going to go do that, which is... this is basically never a bad idea. Like, I'm never going to criticize a player that decides to send a unit to a straight corner, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not a thing. You'll be like, why is he doing that? Why is he bothering to do that? Because 1 in, like, 10 times, it's going to get you a win. It's too frequent. Like, even if it's 10% of the time you get a win just by sending a single unit to a corner, you're going to do it. Well, Matador is getting pressured off his west stone now. Freaking Andy finding ways to get value out of these skirms. He's about 400 res collected up at the moment. Has a defensive castle down. King is stationed right behind it. And he's going to stick to protecting his main base with his king, with his castle. Skirm numbers reaching ridiculous proportions here, because there are like 40 of them out on the field. Elite skirm coming in for El Matador. Nice thing about that, they will deal with the war wagons well. You'll be able to, like, go forwards and maybe snipe vills underneath these guard towers and clear up the forward vills, possibly. And if you break in with them, now they're not going to be faster than the king, but you'll be able to maybe tank some shots if freaking Andy's not paying attention. You come in with, like, a pair of petards and then something like that could be a potential. More likely to use them defensively. War wagons coming in now from freaking Andy. Bodkin as well. Matador picking up early ballistics. Early-ish ballistics, right? Instead of adding TCs, it'll help defend against the war wagons. Especially with their added mobility. I don't know, did we see a stable from freaking Andy? I don't think he put a stable down, so no husbandry yet. Yeah, he never made it scout addition or transition or however you want to put it. So what would I do? If I'm Magyar's here, I think I'm going to try to get this food out somehow. I think I want more knights. Scouts are cheap for the Magyars, so you can just keep adding them. Get them up to light cav and get the armor on them. And they won't do as bad. I don't know what Matador is doing with these skirms. He might just yeah, he was thinking about walking in, I think. He saw the castle going up and figured that maybe freaking Andy would have the king just sitting there, I think. He's going to try and harass. He has like 20 elite skirms with Bodkin. Getting that second armor. Be pretty good at harassing this this forward wood. Forcing a guard tower down out of freaking Andy. Freaking Andy's going to add his own university now. Matador's eco looking a lot more balanced than it did just a couple minutes ago. War wagons on the hunt for the king. Matador is going to stay on top. Matador should do really well with these settings. Like, having the additional APM to think about and handle the king is going to be something, somewhat of a more significant advantage than normal. I think APM will benefit with this tournament more than a regular AoE2 tournament, just for that reason. Even if it's not actual, like, APM, if it's just, like, mental APM, I think it'll be huge. Mental APM? How would you do, like, ability to multitask? Yeah. Yeah, there's two strategies. You build a protective base for your king, potentially even like extra like stone walls maybe to wall him up against the outside, or you keep him loose and you just keep an eye on your opponent pressuring your base. And this will work for quite a while. This will work for a long time. The issue really comes in Imp when there's just too much to handle. Now, some players still can. I believe we watched Hera basically use the micro the king endlessly strat when he made his run during Halloweeners 2, which was the exact same settings as this tournament back, but it was a one-day tournament back on Halloween, single elimination, with like, I think it was all best of, like, it was one-game sets, which was pretty exciting, but also, like, I'm sure it was nerve-wracking. You get one game of the tournament, it's against Hera. 4 first-rounders. Warwagon's going to catch quite a few vills out here on the left of Matador's base. Freaking Andy's 10 vills up. And that number is climbing, and Matador doesn't really have, like, the army advantage to do anything about it. He's microing, looked like the knights were being microed with the skirms there. Took a little bit longer than it should have to get in on the Mango. Mango got, like, an extra 2 volleys off, but still enough skirms left from Matador to defend this push. We already cycled the king off over here. There's a spear right there. Can the spear see? That is dangerously close to where the king is. Matador getting a little bit taxed here, both on the left and the right from freaking Andy, and he's going to have to send that king off to the corner. I think Matador is not in a good position to win from a macro perspective. He's going to have to switch to sniping. He needs to get some cav archers out. He needs to get them out now. We're talking that a sneak attack from the east from Matador could potentially end the game here. So that's the strat that's left to him, I think, at this point. As freaking Andy's going to click up to Imp. Normally, I would say Matador would be dead at this position. The game would be over after that nice play from the War Wagons. He does have, like, you know, if freaking Andy decides to send the king out, if he feels sketch, a potential strat here for Matador might be to come in with literally, like, 3 cav archers, and then freaking Andy panics and sends the king out the side right into the waiting clutches of a scout. So Matador is going to have to play this right, make freaking Andy think he's less dead than he is, and buy time for a decent snipe attempt, I think, is the only chance left here. Either that, he could potentially clear freaking Andy's army. Freaking Andy only has skirms and war wagons, and Matador has solid elite skirm army. So I don't know how well freaking Andy will be able to push. Koreans do get some pretty nasty siege once they get some upgrades. Andy already has the castle down to be able to get the counterweights unique tech that the Koreans get that gives the counterweights for them? What the heck's it called? Counterweights? I can't see what it says. I believe they get a tech that gives their mangoes like extra damage. Is there an extra spread? One of those. Makes their mangoes mean. I think they have another, what's the other siege tech they get too? Yeah, Korean's nasty siege, man. Love access to siege onager. He does get there. Chin Kichon. Is it counterweights? I think it's counterweights. I think I know which tech you're thinking of. Team bonus. Oh, that's the one I was thinking of. Is the less minimal range on the mangoes. Makes them really hard to... You pretty much have to do split micro against mangoes. Counterweights is Saracen. Thank you. Ipsong? What the heck is the name of it? Is that for their towers? Koreans are surprisingly nasty, and the war wagons found the king on the right side. A Matador got overwhelmed, and freaking Andy didn't mince around and finished El Matador off. Solid start to the series. This should be a best of 5. Change that right now. Be a best of 5, and freaking Andy will take game 1. All right, what do you guys think? It's regular Age of Empires 2. Okay, I took some of the best maps from all of the S tier tournaments from the past year, and we made it king sniping. The forward castle was ending it on this side. I think El Matador should have made 5 cav archers. I don't think he was technically dead, even now. Normally, yeah, absolutely. 100% any regular game of Age of Empires 2, and he's never going to be able to make his economy up and attack Andy without some insane things happening, right? But he could make 4 cav archers and 2 petards. I'm just saying. He had this whole side of the map open. El Matador liked the new logo. I don't know if either one of them are going to use it. They don't have to use it. I did it completely unasked for just because I don't know how to say it, my hyper focus kicked. I wanted to have a nice graphic to throw up here for you guys. So I figured, hey, I might as well like go all in on this. And from me, I'm also thinking about putting together like a portfolio of my graphic work so I can try and get some work doing that. Yo, Pit Dude, thanks for the Let's Go Freaks. I like the enthusiasm. Let me see if I can update our Civ draft fast. So freaking Andy used the Koreans. Magyars. El Matador will have his choice of map from enclosed Golden Lakes, Arabia, and Outcrop. I have a message. Let me see if it's from freaking Andy. Nike. Okay, no, he's good. All right. Did you guys want to see any stats from that game while we wait for game 2? KD was not as bad as you would think, as El Matador took good fights with the skirm on skirms. He held Andy off. Like, the skirm army did what it needed to, but he didn't have a good transition, and he didn't have a second unit that he worked. He should have been working into either light cav or knights to mix with the skirms, and he just never quite got to that point. Or he could have gone into cav archers and gone for a snipe attempt way earlier, even. Not even at the end. He could have started that earlier. That's my take, at least. Ah, it reloads every time. Fix that. I can fix that in 6 seconds. Shut down source when not visible. Get rid of that. And yeah, there we go. Now it should save it. Let me check the spec dashboard. Make sure they have started. And we might even be able to hop in already. Yep, they're already on game number 2. And we will be able to go right into it, as we even just got past the spec delay, if there was one. think they had a 2-minute spec delay on. Incas and Mongols. Incas and Mongols, and we are going to Arabia. All right. Give Capture Age a moment here. Was this 9-bill start as well? Wait, what? Did a 9-bill start? Oh yeah, it was a 9-bill start as well. 9-bill start as well here. Angel Matador back to teal. And we should run a prediction. There we go. Channel points prediction should be running now. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. I was super stoked about this yesterday, and I am enjoying it now. Okay, and so this will be nice and interesting because the Incan King has teal on his hat. That's not confusing at all. These guys getting some extra scouting information with their kings, and actually if freaking Andy's going to use his king to push in some deer. King's doing some work, guys. Is he? Well, Matador's king is just going for a leisurely stroll. Freaking Andy's is climbing up and down the mountain to get the deer to come down. So you can see freaking Andy's king is putting in the work. Freaking Andy's going to have rear gold. Oh my god, he's got rear main gold and rear main stone. That's pretty nice. That being said, this side of his map is looking pretty sparse, and this hill's pretty nasty. It's begging for like a siege workshop or a castle. That being said, as the Incas, he will have access to cheaper stone buildings, so cheaper castles for the Incan player. Incas with the really cheap economy, or pardon me, cheap military, because they cost less food. I'll throw the civ bonuses up for you guys. We'll try and go all out with production today. A Matador, meanwhile, going to have a forward main stone. Does have the rear main gold, but this is even more sparse, as he has two kind of open sides. Maybe not so bad as if he res walls like that. Might not be too terrible. This feels worse, though he is positioned a bit more in the corner, so that could be more advantageous for the late game, especially because he has all of this wood back here. Both players taking their forward lumber camps. Oh, I heard whacking. What did we lose? We got attacked by a lion. Okay. Freaking Andy's going to come in with a drush. There's going to be a 2 militia drush to open here from freaking Andy. A Matador throwing down a barracks. Standard Arabia, except the king, there are kings. You know, I wonder if El Matador is spotting the king pushing that in, and he's just like keeping an eye on freaking Andy. I was really hoping to see some solid snipe attempts here from El Matador. Let's see if we get at least one. Drush is going to hit the barracks just a little too late. Well, Matador is able to squeeze that up. That's a nice hill for Andy to work with the militia, so we probably going to have to give up that side of the lumber camp, and in fact, the Matador is just going to try and fight this off. Nature. The Matador gifting game 1 is very gracious of him. Would you say Acropolis is a map that a Matador would enjoy, Nature? I feel like you might know his preferences a bit better than me. I feel like any open map should be to El Matador's favor. Exactly. In theory, this should be like a good a tournament for El Matador to go far in. I think this should be right up his alley in general. I I want to see the snipe attempt. I think he should do like a red phosphor like castle drop unique unit in a Mangadai type deal here. Oh, Matador going full spears. Scouts doing work. Didn't even get too beat up by the spear there. And he's going to bring his king back into his TC one last time with this deer. And let's see if he keeps it close at home. So, Matador was scouting this side of the base. So he knew that freaking Andy was pushing deer with the king. We'll see if he goes back there with the scouts and follows up on that info. Or just figures that it's over at this point. 4 scouts is enough to snipe the king. Could we see an early feudal king snipe? Could we see our first feudal snipe attempt? Andy is getting out of dodge with his king. El Matador is on the hunt, guys. That range of sight on the Mongol scouts. It's getting I wonder if El Matador does a corner check. If El Matador does a corner check right now, freaking Andy's dead. Because he's got nowhere to run. He only has 2 places that he can run. If El Matador just goes south with his scouts right now. Show us the corner check, El Matador. Show us the corner check. A corner check ends the game right now. If I'm seeing this, I'm like, why is he like worried about me going that way? He might go for the Bills instead and freaking it. Oh. What do you think, guys? What do you think? Oh, I feel like El Matador is like, Oh, he should send the sheep. Imagine he sheep scouts the king down there. Freaking Andy's not looking in great shape either way. Like, the scouts are coming in and they're getting quite a bit of idle time off of freaking Andy's villagers. Mongols, with that faster hunt, kind of start a little bit ahead of most civilizations anyways. They get all that food in so fast. Your mic seems to be peaking. Interesting. Okay, what if I change to this? This might sound better and sound like it's going to peak, but it'll actually peak less because it has like a special limiter on it. What about this, Sandman? Is this any better? It should be peaking less now. This definitely sounds better. All right, thank you for telling me that, Sandman. I appreciate it. Much better. Yep. I have 2 settings. I have one for when I'm playing with my friends on Discord that cuts out all the background echo, and then I have this one which does a better job of preventing me from distorting. Three spears are mixed in here. Okay, what's this army looking like? HP advantages in favor of freaking Andy. Again, it goes with the cheap food units. Sheep is really close to the king. I don't know what happened to the sheep. I want to go see what happened to the sheep. Did he bring the sheep back? He brought the sheep back. He brought the sheep back. If he had just sent the sheep down, he would have found the king in the game. But the game could still end. If El Matador is just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go see if his king's down there. Can someone please remind me to run ads between the games next time so it doesn't run right as we get to the exciting part of the game? King passed the sheep? Those are the camels, unfortunately. Show us a quarter check. Quarter check ends the game. The tension here is unbelievable.
Hey, Penguin is James. Thanks for following.
Yo, Penguin is James. Thank you. This is amazing pressure from El Matador. The scouts are getting in and doing damage to an insane degree, but freaking Andy has come forwards at the same time, and both players are in each other's eco. We've got Vils fighting off scouts there, and we've got a mix of skirms and a couple eagles, a spear and an archer. I think you could mostly fight that with Vils. On the other side, scouts are just massacring Andy's wood. They're just standing there. They're just standing there. two things at once happening at the same time, and Andy is somehow coming out ahead of the APM attention span game, multitasking ability game. And it's killing me watching the scouts go down to the vills, knowing how unprotected Andy's king is in the south. But El Matador focused on doing the damage that he sees in front of him. King has not taken any damage here from El Matador yet, even though all that army was walking through the back of El Matador's base. Eco KD is fairly even. That kill just put it ahead for freaking Andy by 1. It's 4-3 now, but El Matador with the overall KD is taking out a bunch of the army of freaking Andy. Still has the res lead as well. Freaking Andy with some Idleville TC time. Uh-oh. Could this be it? Could this be it? Oh my god! Did he not actually check the quarter? It's auto scout. It's auto scout. It has to be. I need like a timer that times how long the king has been snipeable. We're just kind of losing our skirms, yeah. Freaking Andy still has 3 alive. El Matador, make another scout. Does he have a stable? There it is, all the way over there. What do you think? Step lancers, guys? When you have lots of food, you can make lots of steps. Second stable going down. I think step lancers. Yep, step lancers. This is chopped through enough that we're going to be able to hit villagers over the wood line with the steps. King's still undefended down here from Andy. Man, this has been very well played by El Matador. He might just like straight take the game off Andy the way this is looking. Andy may be feeling a little bit exposed with his king down in the south now. And could bringing back be what actually ends up costing it. Andy's setting his king, bringing his king in. El Matador is bringing his king out. No, not now. Don't do the quarter check now. It's too late. You should do these, like 3 steps will kill a lot of ills. Those are all dead. These are all dead. You'll get at least 2 more. Yeah. Oh, that was a third. I thought that was a third step. It was a light cap. That was a third step. We just got we got 3 of those 4. Oh, imagine if it was still down there. King is nice and safe. Yeah, freaking Andy felt the and this is gonna be spotted by El Matador. But he has lots of targets he can hit. Honestly, like he can run all over freaking Andy's base. Back at El Matador's base, there's just a couple eagles pushing him off gold. We did get a conversion from freaking Andy on one of those step lancers. And they're now stepping it out on this hill. We got some steps to run around and clean. The nice thing about going steps or knights against a Meso-Civ is you're going to be able to have so much more mobility than your opponent, clean up any raids. Like your raids should be harder to deal with than their raids for you, generally. Nice block from Andy. He's going for quick walls on the monk, and he got one of those steps as a result of the extra pathing time for that step lancer. All right, time for the cav archer switch, guys. 4 cav archers, 3 cav archers ends the game. 1 might do it, to be honest. 1 cavalry archer mixed in with the step lancers ends the game. Right? We need 2 separate king cams. Yeah, I agree. If Andy does a corner check, El Matador dies. And we are in the reverse situation that we were before. Freaking Andy has an overchop at the front of his base. He quickly walls that off. You could just eat that with the steps. There's another monk. He doesn't want to give up another monk. Not gonna be able to close that up. That needs like a gate and a market or something. He's gonna try and quick wall to this TC down here. One Step Lancer in on the wood line there for freaking Andy. That's open! That's open! And in come the steps. Again, the king is right there. Show me one cavalry archer. One cavalry archer. Matador might just be ignoring the king entirely at this point. He's just like, I think I can kill freaking Andy. I don't care about the stupid king. Which, that's fine. I'll accept the tournament if that's what it is. Because to me it creates extra attention. Then ADHD is like, the king! And I can focus.
How'd that get in there?
How you doing, Asterix? Yeah, it'd be really cool if Capture Age would either A, let you put camera positions in as hotkeys, so I could like jump from position to position, or let me hotkey units, like control group units, or let me do picture-in-picture, or all three. If I could like picture-in-picture follow a unit, it'd be really cool. Again, both players poking at each other at the same time. Freaking Andy doing so with very little army. It's got like a few spears, a couple monks, and a couple eagles. It's enough to get the job done, as most of Matador's army is forwards, as he's sandwiching both sides of freaking Andy's base. And again, show me a cav archer. He absolutely can see the king sitting there. He might not know it or understand what this giant house wall is, but also it might not matter. This might be GG, as Andy's going to lose. I don't even know how many vills here. I do see a little bit of action going on at El Matador's base. We'll see how many vills he manages to get here and quickly flip back to El Matador's base. That's not anywhere near the same amount of damage. We now have 11 vills for El Matador over freaking Andy, just from that one raid. The power of one cavalry archer. It's mad. To me, it's maddening knowing the game. If Andy wins this game, ooh. If Andy wins this game, it's going to be because we didn't go for a snipe at this point right now. Or any of the previous fights. This, like, now we know it's there. He's probably just not paying attention, guys. I will suggest to anybody that signs up for the tournament, participates, casts, get Big King mod. It's way too helpful. In casting in particular. No! And freaking Andy! Freaking Andy found the king hiding in the corner! We knew it was always a possibility with the king hiding in the corner, but here it is, it's gonna end for no reason! No reaction even from El Matador! And that's the game! Freaking Andy, way behind, basically out of this game, decides, hey, I'm gonna go check the corner, and El Matador was hiding there with his king. And that's it. After all that. And this is why I love this mode. You actually have to put thought. You really have to think about what you're doing with your king. And I will contend to the end of my days.
Now, this is epic.
That one cavalry archer would have ended this game. A single cavalry archer with the raids from El Matador. Even without fletching or anything, and you put him right there, this king has to be dealt with, or the king has to be moved, and then you can send in the step lancers to end the game. So we were a cavalry archer away from ending this game. We were a skirmisher away from ending the game. A single archer, a crossbow, anything with range. Forward siege, one scorpion, right? Something to get that king out of there. And El Matador focusing on just going for the Vil victory, we'll say, the standard macro victory, meta victory, actually cost him the game here. And that's really well played by freaking Andy. Freaking Andy's ability to pick and choose when he should be playing meta and when he should take a YOLO king snipe attempt is why he won Ring of Fire. The last one. That's the exact reason. He just put it on display for us. 100%. So that was a sick game too. Freaking Andy now up by 2. So El Matador has his work cut out for him. Let's see if he can get at least one game off of freaking Andy here, guys. I'm going to check the spec dashboard right away and get all set up in case they've already started game 3, which I wouldn't be surprised if they have. They did 1 minute ago. Mongols and Cubans for game 3. We are loading right in. What about a nice ad? You know what? I will pause the beginning of this game because they should have put a spec delay on anyways, and I will run an advertisement. I would say ungarrisoned, but he unlocks the king. And wow, he's in trouble here. He's gonna try and block the steps, but he's 1 or 2 hits away, and Shixo is gonna take down out of the tournament. What a snipe by Shixo! Lashka going for the spear of the tournament, I think, and going for the king snipe. Manages to break in. The king's sitting right there. It doesn't have any HP. It can get picked off by
ABB 1,310,871,337. Thanks for following.
From there. The crossbows can reach away here. Pull away your king. What? Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, why? There's 2 scouts left. There's too much HP left. There's 1 scout. Oh, yes, there's 1 hit. There's 1 hit on his left. Chat, I want to type in the chat for the trebuchet king snipe right now. He's going for it. He's going for it. Come on, Tress. Come on, RNG. Come on, RNG.
Google_AOE is following.
All right, we are back. Game number 3 of Freaking Andy versus El Matador. And El Matador is going with the Cumans here in the Northeast for his potential final game of this show match. We're really hoping we get a 4th one. Let's see the hype for potentially a game 4. Right? Like we want a game 4. We want to see more of this. Although I did get a little bit of what I wanted. I wanted at least 1 comeback victory. So we know it's possible. And now players, anybody that's going to enter this tournament will be looking at that game where Freaking Andy was basically dead and managed to come back. And they're going to be taking better care of their kings. You watch. It also makes me feel like, even though El Matador is down 2-0, it's not as dire as it might think. If it's that easy to come back and kill a king, then I think we might see some potential comeback action. Especially with the advantage here for El Matador at that 2nd town center with the Cumans. Cumans a very strong civilization 1v1. Mongols arguably are very well suited to dealing with the bonuses that they have, though. Wow, I just noticed this on Capture Age. As the Vil gets close to spawning, this dot gets bigger. See? And then the Vil spawns, like it shows you, and then the dot grows. That's fancy. That's quite cool. Thank you guys for waiting through the ad. Thank you for reminding me Penguin is James. The good news is all I want now is more of this. I want more of this content now. Maybe I'll pull someone out of chat. I'll get maybe one of my moderators or someone out of chat. And we'll run a viewer show match after this, depending on how long this goes. If we have, like, you know, 3 hour-long games in a row, then maybe not. But if this one ends after this one and it's another, like, 20-minute, half-hour game, then I would 100% want to do another show match after this with some people out of chat. So if there's any of my moderators or VIPs that are feeling particularly competent today at setting the settings up, I know they're complicated. Oh man, I can't wait for this tournament now. I don't know about you guys. This is going to be a fun few weeks. I don't care about any Age of Empires 2 that's happening now. There's like a Arabia tournament that I actually like kind of want to pay attention, even thought about covering, and like now I just want this. That's all I want. I still might cover some games from that, I haven't decided. Let's see here. So freaking Andy is down here. We got I'd say they're kind of close spawns. And I think that's just bare. I don't know if that's wide enough for a siege workshop or not. It should be wide enough for a siege workshop. This unbuildable ring, if you've never been on enclosed, they start in the middle with only wood. All of the extra res, so berries, gold, etc. Stone is on the outside. And there's an unbuildable tile separating the inside and outside. You'll see unbuildable tiles are a very common theme throughout this tournament, as it makes it very interesting with king positioning. Now, Matador is elected to add a second town center. He went up very, very quickly. Super early, fast up for the cumin. And he's going to put that TC right down on that gold, and it's kind of near a berry bush, too. Even has like a little patch of wood near it. Not bad at all. Freaking Andy's FC'd. He's going to FC into Mangadai, would be my prediction. He could just FC into, like, Huang style. But I have a feeling... I wonder if he'll Huang style siege push or castle drop. I think he's going to castle drop. A castle drop right there would be so nasty. What's his scouting look like? He's got good scouting, too. Mongols with that extra line of sight on their scout. Market stable. That could be just to get bloodlines. 1Q? He'll still have enough food. Lumber camp upgrade threw me a bit, but he had enough food to do it. Must have had 4 deer. Did they start with 4? He must have had 4 deer. King check. Andy is off in the middle of nowhere, and Matador's is in the back of his base, behind a house. It's not off in some corner this time. That's right in the back of his base.
Tissue paper Catmat has donated 150 bits to Android War on Humanity. They say cheer 150. I just donated to the prize fund, but no alert.
Really?
I gotta tell you, this is pretty terrific. Yeah.
Interesting. Are you sure you did tissue? Because it didn't show up here either. It would have showed up there if you did. If you donated to me or here, it would have showed up. It might take a minute. It's possible it got rejected by your credit card or something. like 100% it would have showed up here. Unless everything on my computer is super frozen and broken. But I don't think so. I will check directly on Stream Elements. And thank you very much. Thank you for the bits, too. Yep, I did not get anything. I did not receive anything from you. Not on my PayPal, not in Stream Elements, on either of my Stream Elements. Nothing. Just so you know. I remember a game at NAC when Andy went humans on this map and Doubt FC Siege pushed him. I bet he does the same here. Freaking Andy also had a very memorable game on this map in Warlords against... who was he up 3-0 against again? Was it Leary? It was Leary, right? That was the game that made me decide to put this in this tournament. I was like, this is a open, entertaining map. I wanted it in my tournament. Andy has shown up with some step lancers. So he's going for like a kind of like a step siege kind of thing. And I don't think it's working, to be honest. El Matador is like 15 vills up. How you doing, Ghost Rider, by the way? Alright, well, El Matador is going to be Castle Age in 50 seconds. He could preemptively throw down a Siege Workshop so that the second he's up, he can instantly generate a Mangonel. And that'll help a little bit. But I think in general, he needs army, and he doesn't have anything. And to me, it looks like he's just going to try and spam either Knights or Step Lancers. Must be delayed. Left your PayPal. Are you sure you were on my page? It's the only thing I can think of. Did you accidentally donate to, like, freaking Andy? Maybe my PayPal is delayed again, Tissue. Or, pardon me, frozen again. That has happened a couple times. I will check. Now I'm going to double check my PayPal. I didn't get any alerts on my phone, but I'm going to log into my actual PayPal and look. Okay, I have received your money. I've got, thank you very much, Tissue, for the $150 fucking dollars. This should now be at like $370, and then we got another $7. I think you said that was from you, Ace Tricks. So we should be at like $380, $385-ish dollars now, something like that. So thank you very much, guys. I don't know why it didn't come. It's not coming through Stream Elements at all, just so you know. Like it's not showing up in my Stream Elements dashboard, so it didn't trigger the alert. I don't know why that is. Yeah, I will handle it. Someone remind me after the game, okay? Elon took it. I don't have a drink. It's Edge. What I do know is freaking Andy has 20 villager deficit and not any more army. So this is arguably El Matador should never lose this game. As freaking Andy has no army advantage now. No tie. The only advantage he has is one Mangonel. Pardon me. One Mangonel that El Matador does not. And El Matador will have that in a second, and then he will shoot the Mangonel, and, well, he didn't quite get it. That should do it. Oh, freaking Andy's getting some value out of that mango. Oh! Oh, it took 3 shots, but we finally traded. And that works way in favor of El Matador, who should just overrun Andy. This actually is GG. Normally. What could freaking Andy do? Well, I think what freaking Andy should do is get stone and drop a castle. And survive. Yeah, that's disappointing. I don't know why I did that. $150. I literally set up a special alert just in case someone donated a bunch of money, and it didn't go off now. And I don't even have the whatever. Tipping settings. Let me see if it now I'm getting distracted by it, because that's a lot of money. That's more than we're doing for the show match, guys. Thank you, Tissue. Is there a Cav Archer in there or not? What are these players' aversion? Why are these players have a sick, disgusting aversion to Cav Archers? Somebody explain to me. What can freaking Andy actually do? Let me think. 3 rams? He gets like 3 ram a house and then Cav Archers. We don't need no alerts. I'll alert everybody to everything that happens. The goal not going up bothers me more than anything. Alerts break all the time, but the goal not going up? Do you guys think freaking Andy could still pull a snipe off here? He's... Steve didn't even read it out. My evil robot. Will Al Matador make the same mistake as last game, which will be to not finish things off? He breaks into freaking Andy's home base and the game ends right now, right? This is the real reason that I like the settings, is that it makes it harder to, it makes Snowball's game ending. Or at least much more difficult for the person defending the Snowball to deal with. Which I like. I think that's good. Back and forth games are exciting. They're even more exciting when they're earned and not because of, like, frustrating meta and or civ OP-ness in certain game types and scenarios and stuff. Like, I'd rather a player that's gained a 20 villager lead win that game most of the time. Comebacks are cool, though. We'll see if Freaking Andy can make one happen. Freaking Andy's path to redemption here, he has 2. One would be a snipe, but he also, if he broke in and killed enough vills, that could work too. I think either way, he has to be thinking about counter-pressuring and not trying to take a fight against the army. He's got 4 camels and 3 spears up against 20 steps and 3 camels, so he's not going to win that fight. He's got to counter-pressure the base. On the other hand, could potentially lose a lot of vills trying to do that. He's going to keep his monk back home, snag every little unit he can to try and get some extra army. El Matador maybe wasting a little time clearing up the siege. I can argue what I would do is I would take all of my alive units after I won the fight, and I would send them forwards and attack. And then any new units that spawn, I would spawn them there. And then I would go back to that place and grab them and bring them forwards. That way, while they're spawning and they're massing up a little bit, I can just... I'm still doing damage to something that irritates me. I don't want it in my face. El Matador stacks the steps onto this market. And that's going to force 2 repair villas out of freaking Andy. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. It was borderline, and there were more steps that we could have come in with. And if El Matador just focuses the main base of freaking Andy... Man, I really wish we could have Treason available in Castle Age. Like you get to Castle Age and Treason's available at the TC. For like 200 gold or something. Freaking Andy's kind of closing the gap here, and he's gotten enough conversions that it's making El Matador's push not quite as strong as it was before. Camels are a really good counter to the steps, so if El Matador takes even one bad fight like that, what we need is a pike transition from the Cumin. Need some halbs. A good old halb ram push would end the game. And we've got enough res to go imp, so I think you unqueue... No, why are you making knights? Your opponent's making camels. Maybe he's gonna go paladin? I don't know. Wants the mobility. You gotta go imp. I think you go imp and you go halb ram switch here, and that ends the game. Give me the controller. Give me the controller. I got this. Spoiler alert. He did not have it. I don't agree. I guess the knights kind of make sense because camels suck. So I can see the knights being rational. Especially as you don't get heavy camel as the humans, but also like making knight into already existing camels just feels painful. And I would have clicked up right away while I still had the army lead, and then made a full Halb Ram switch and started pushing with Halb Ram. Because what does the Mongol do versus Halb Ram without Mangadai? And they don't have a castle right now. Perhaps El Matador is like, I don't want to go Halb Ram against the Mongols because of... But I think that's your best option here. You can go directly into Siege Ram when you get to Imp if you set up your eco properly. 1,000 food's a lot at the beginning, but if you already have like 8 Rams alive and all of your army alive, which you can get away with as the humans. Yeah, I think we've let freaking Andy back into this game, guys. God, this map is so good. I can close this such a good AoE 2 map. We're gonna win this fight. We might still get the castle up. Gotta get the steps to work. Ain't no way that house is staying up. That castle should get denied. And that, in theory, should be GG. In theory. Yeah, American Andy calls GG. Standard meta win here from El Matador. He just went for the regular player and it worked out. Man, Enclosed is a great map. It really, really is. He almost let Andy back into this game. I'm really glad he closed this one out and we get another game out of this set. But yeah, definitely impressing on me that Enclosed generally a solid map. And, you know, we were getting to a situation where a castle drop might have ended the game here from freaking Andy. Hey, what if he'd built this castle inside and then stuck his army over here instead of going for the pushback? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if players are quite playing to the meta yet here in the set, but this is our first show match, so players still even just getting used to how things are working. That was a good game. I quite enjoyed that one. That was the least King Snipey game, but that might have been the best of the 3 games. That was pretty good. Let's see if I can quickly update the Civ drafts here. Both players, I believe, have now used Mongols. Let's see here. We had freaking Andy lose with the Mongols. Matador lose with the Mongols and win with the Cumans.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
And we've had Arabia. And we had Enclosed. So either Golden Lakes or Outcrop here for game number 4. About time you gotta win there, nature. We get to put a dub up here on the scoreboard for El Matador. Booyah. Oh, I was already on the scene. They have started. Golden Lakes will be game number 4. I'm very glad we got a game 4 out of this set. Now I feel happy. I am a happy man now. I feel like freaking Andy might have just called it there after losing the army. A castle getting denied is pretty bad. I wonder if he still could have done something in that game. El Matador had his king pretty well protected. It's okay.
Salve.
We will institute our own delay. We'll get Matador changed to teal, like we've been casting with all set. We have freaking Andy is orange. I'll pay out that prediction. And I'll run one for this game right away. Alrighty, Golden Lakes. So it's a combination of Golden Pit and 4 lakes. So you can get some kind of clowny hybrid action happening here. Both players should have their own lake. Again, this is a NAC map, so it was a 9 villager start.
Marpada.
here.
I will be doing, it will be 3-ville start for the tournament, just so you guys know. All maps, so it'll be 3-ville. 3-ville is too, with this map, it's too important to have a little bit of extra time to potentially, like, wall your king in or whatever. So, start your walls and assess what you're going to do. Freaking Andy a little bit faster to dock here. Already has 2 fishing ships out. Matador still getting his first out. Malay do get a Ville advantage somewhat as they have faster ups to the age, so you can use that 2 ways. You can get up to the next age quicker, obviously, or you can produce a couple extra villagers and then click up and end up around the same time as you would normally end up in the next age, but with more vills. So very strong eco bonus. That's why Malay are so popular, especially at high level. That's so significant of advantage. That extra res income. Getting that early dock down may negate that to a significant degree. Transport ship king corner. Kings cannot garrison ROMFL. That includes transport ships. And you should be pretty, anytime you see Hamburger come up in this tournament, you should start to get excited, because that is why that map is so crazy, is the kings are trapped on the center island with the other player. So my bad? No, it's not your bad. I was good. It's like a good thing to bring up and talk about, especially on this map. So that's, you're not going to be able to just stick the king on transport. No. Yeah, it's one of the key aspects of the tournament. Actually, I've tried to include a few hybrid maps for that reason. It's very difficult to have ones that make sense. Like, you could say, "Oh, I'll do migration," but then your opponent just makes 4 galleys and you die. Like, you got to find that right kind of combination. Hamburger is the right kind of combination of there's a big space that you can kind of keep your king away from ships. Yeah, you guys will see. If we get a hamburger in any of the sets during the tournament, you'll see. Golden Lake should be good too, just to have a kind of, this is like just another excellent map. The maps were chosen because I enjoyed watching them in tournaments for the most part in the past year. And also I hosted, like I said, I hosted earlier in the day, I hosted tournaments that were the same version of the popular pro tournaments, but with king sniping added. And this one made for some good games with those settings. Ooh. And Almatador picks up on the Ville forward from freaking Andy. And he is going to deny that. Freaking Andy goes for the quick wall, not there. That's pretty huge. We lost a very early villager for one, but also now freaking Andy's strat is going to be... Why is he fighting that? He must have assumed he was going to lose that fight and looked away. Well, either way, Almatador with a 2-villager lead. Res collected almost even, within like 100 res of each other. That's going to change with that early Ville death. Freaking Andy does have another fishing ship on the way in this pond, though. And this looks like he's going to expand down to the southwest. That is... I don't know that I'd be sending my king out to scout right about now. Oh yeah, the other thing that's great about Golden Lakes with the king sniping is because the corners all have lakes, like ships and docks in them, it's a lot harder to just stick your king in a corner somewhere. Like, you literally can't. Tissue, I feel so bad about that alert not playing for the $150 dono, and I have no idea why it's not updating. I just wanted to apologize again. This seems risky. I agree, but he did manage to get some valuable scouting information out of the king at this point. I'm not bothered, do not worry. Okay. What are you doing, Almatador? What are you doing, buddy? This is fucking gutsy. What is he doing? By the way, they both docked this. What is this? What is happening with this king right now? Why is he going on a world tour? Is he just trying to get all the scouting info he can to make freaking Andy think his score is different? He's making army or something? I don't know what's going on here. I think he's trying to get Scorley to get in freaking Andy's head. That's what I think is happening. I think that's what he's doing, guys. I don't know exactly why. I think maybe he's trying to mask his FC. He's trying to mask his FC a bit, I think. Because he really didn't make any army. And I don't see any other reason that you would do that, right? Freaking Andy is going to be on all 3 of these pawns, leaving El Matador with just 1. Now there is still, how much fish? It's like 1,000 food in there. Assuming Andy does not open scouts because Andy thinks the king is walled in. Ah, true. And he's just going to stick the king at the back of his base, it looks like.